market, and later on, Sean can answer the question by Sharif. So, Pete.
Yeah, so Li Min's question is, the market has gone up quite a bit. Is it still a good time to invest? All right, so Li Min, I think this question may stem from, currently people are seeing at the market, right? Like, wow, all the tech stock run already, right? But the key thing is to ask yourself is that what happened each time after we see a very big correction? I think Sean actually went through this very quickly with you all yesterday, so maybe I'll just re-emphasize in case you all forget. Is that each time you see a good correction like 30, 35% to 40%, right? What we will see is that subsequently the whole market will go up by at least 2 to 3 times. Okay, so where are we now? So if you follow my hand, you can see a picture. We were here, and now we are down to my chin. Okay, then we are now up. Now we are at my ear only, Okay, so the question to ask yourself is, do you think the market will recover to this point and then that's it? It won't go up any further, right? It will just come down. No, right? It will. I believe there's still a lot more upside to go. Now, the key thing to remember is this. Does it mean that the market will not fluctuate in between as it goes up? Of course not. There's going to be ups and downs. In fact, this is like taking a stairs, right? When you step, the step is not one straight line. You will fall down, right? Imagine the steps is a straight platform. How you climb up the stairs like that? Cannot. Each time you climb up the stairs is up, down, up, down, up, down. And that's how you climb up the stairs, right? So that's the kind of market we want. So long story short is that the market is still primed for recovery. I think there's still a lot of opportunities out there. The important thing to ask yourself is, at this moment in time, do you know what to do, right? Do you have a plan? So that's why whenever people come on my consultation, I always ask them, don't think about the market first, right? Because ask yourself, are you ready for the market? Because if you're not ready, then does it matter whether the market is bull market or bear market? Okay, right? So make sure you're ready personally, both in your strategy, your mindset, and how you manage your portfolio, right? Make sure you get your whole feedback and guidance, feedback loop ready. I think that's the most important part, okay?
All right, cool. And Sean can answer the next question by Sharif.
If we don't have 100K, example 10K, need to use only BOSS, maybe have 3 options position. Okay, actually this question is very common because we have, like, you remember Manson C? He started with about 10K. And then after that, Kenton, Chicken Genius, started with 13K. Around similar situation. Very simple one. It all starts from your whole entire blueprint. Remember we talk about blueprint? You say at the end of you being succeed, what it looks like. You must know the end point first, ma. So that's why when I actually guide them through, we actually design a model portfolio first. What it looks like at the end. It's not trying to use 10K and then try to squeeze everything, ma. Then that's why this 10K, I buy the first 3 stocks first. And personally, depends on your appetite also. I need to talk to you further. But basically, like you see Manson C, he used a lot of BOSS. Generate income until become now 6 figures also per month. Then for Kenton, he like to use Strategy X. So there's also, I mean, for you, if you like to use BOSS, you can do that, spin to 3, but ultimately build the whole entire 15 to 20, your dream portfolio first. And then all of them now become like also multi-millionaire already. Got it? So start with the end in mind. This is a very important portion. Yep. So, okay, it's not 5% of 10K, understand? It's actually your whole entire model portfolio first. But whatever money that you have, make sure you also start to do a bit of diversification. Because it's very demoralizing, 10K you put into one stock, then gone. I've seen so many of them before. After that, I need to go and sayang them, then ask them to encourage them. But okay, in the end, most of them also become multi-millionaire. But learn to diversify so that in case one drop, one go up, emotionally you still can take it. Okay, emotion very quite important.
Yeah. Maybe I just touch on the next question by Ming Jie. Ming Jie said, I have lost 60K last year, right? How can I recover my losses? Okay, so guys, how many of y'all may be in a similar situation as Ming Jie? Maybe not 60K, but you have seen losses last year, right? Type me in the chat. I would say really last year was a year whereby when people lose money, right, I would say it's not that you lose money. The market actually gives you the opportunity, to make money. Okay? It's just like, when Kevin Kong, he lost 53,000, right? And I helped to build his portfolio to 7 figures. One thing I must say to Ming Jie is this. Firstly, right, just because you have experienced losses in the past, do not give up, right? Don't give up investing, because investing is not a 1-year thing. It's not a 2-year thing. In fact, it's a lifetime journey, right? When you're learning to invest, the good thing is that it's not like a professional sport, like NBA or soccer, where you play until you're 30, 40, you have to stop, right? You can continue forever. And I would say the one important thing is, once you have lost money, right, pause and ask yourself, what am I doing? Am I doing it correctly? It's just like, imagine when Kelvin Kwong, when he came to me, right? The first thing I look at is not whether what he can do next, but what he has done already. And if your portfolio is not in a good shape, good position with good companies, right? Then it's stuck. Then the important thing is what are the changes, what are the steps that you need to take. All right. So just now, Sean said sometimes when the portfolio looks just so bad, right? Our upfront before we even reconstruct the portfolio is to actually sell away everything first. Right. So it really depends on what your portfolio situation is, right? Which is why I prefer to do it on a one-on-one consultation. But if you take Kelvin Kwong's example, right, is that if he doesn't do anything, his portfolio will still be stuck at a negative 53,000. And then he will never be in Australia. He will have never gone there already. So that is the main thing, is that immediately ask yourself, okay, what are the things that I can do? What have I done wrong previously? But also quite important is that for a lot of people, when you lose money, right, I would say your immediate reaction might be you are very anxious, right? Or in the Chinese dialect, we say kanchong, right? That means you are very anxious to make the money back, right? And what happens is a lot of people, they start to do a lot of funny trades. They start to try this kind of high frequency trading, FX trading, CFD and whatever, and not go back to the proper fundamental, proper investing using options, right? And end up, they do all the funny stuff, making it worse, right? So I would say for many people out there, if you're already losing money, one important thing is to don't self-sabotage your success, right? Sean already told you, and I think we have demonstrated to you, that the stock market is a brilliant place to grow wealth. And the strategies are there, right? The guidance are there. We are here to help you. The important thing is you yourself don't self-sabotage and do all the funny things. Okay, all right. Okay, Leslie, got any other questions?
Okay, maybe I'll just take on this question by Sean Ang, and then later on, I think Sean can actually answer the one on the wife portion, whether wife should have together. Okay, so basically for Sean is asking, how do we actually diversify our portfolio? For example, if I have 10,000, do I actually do it like every single month, like a dollar cost averaging? So I think first thing first, dollar cost averaging is actually one of the strategy that you can actually implement. But very importantly, guys, you have to understand that right now, if let's say we are already in a bull market, so if you still start to diversify by going in slowly, you realize that potentially you might also lose out this start of the bull run. So you have to understand now, in the bull market, especially in the bear to bull market, the first year is super critical. In fact, as the year goes past, what happens is that your ROI will become smaller and smaller. And one thing that I love about dollar cost averaging, in fact, the best time to do dollar cost averaging is during a bear market. That means last year, if you have been doing dollar cost averaging right now, probably you realize that you already still be making money. But right now, when it's a bull market, I think you want to be a little bit more concentrated on stock that has got the right entry, right? So again, using that, can you make money? You can make money. But again, over here, we want to be super investor. We do not just want to be the normal investor over there. Right. So very importantly, we want to help you to optimize your ROI.
Okay, thanks, Bowen. Okay, I answer the should my wife and I do investment separately or together? Hey, first of all, I've seen many scenarios, but it depends on the dynamics of you and your wife. And I'm not a marriage counselor. I don't want to go into that portion. But I can tell you, example, I know of this guy called Kelvin Lai. His wife quite against him investing. You must understand. So when you and your wife invest together, does it help you or does it make you worse? Okay, make you worse means that if your wife also don't know how to invest, but ask you questions that like also make you confused, because it's a decision making, right? It's supposed to help you in better decision making. So for Kelvin Lai, decided invest on his own. His wife asked him, he also don't want to answer. Say, let me do it myself. Because if the wife asks, sometimes make things more confused. In the end, make the good decision. Instead of asking wife, he himself go and do. I think actually within a few months, he started to make about 5 figures every month. So financially free, very solid investment strategy. He used a lot of BOSS because he needs income. Another case study, one of our head of mentors, Joe and Sarah, they are husband and wife. So for them, right, they are very interesting. Both of them got similar mindset and they are both eager to learn investing. So they come together, they formulate the portfolio together, and they help to sharpen each other's investment. Sharpen means, right, they actually clarify, and they got the same training. So we were the one who actually trained them initially, and then they continue to go to US to seek training. So they all train together, they have the mindset together, they speak the same language. But if your wife is not here, didn't go through this program, I don't know how you're going to ask the wife whether is it correct or wrong, right? So it depends on the situation. But I think importantly, place your marriage above the investing first. So don't go and invest, then quarrel, and then affect your marriage. But if you're unsure, you start with yourself first. Much better. Okay, much better. Otherwise, another person don't know, come in, makes things worse. Okay?
Yeah. Just to add on to Sean's answer, right, is that a lot of times the best way to convince your family or your spouse or your loved ones, right, is not through just words, it's through results, right? So I always say, if your spouse is not comfortable yet, right, it's okay, you don't have to force them, right? But you yourself can start investing. And once you see results, right, then you bring it to them and say, hey, previously I talked to you about investing, right? And this is my last 6 months result, my last 1 year results. And I just want to share with you, I mean, this is something that, I have achieved results. Do you want to get started as well, right? I think that will be way more convincing than you try to reason your way out of it. Okay. Now, let me answer another question. I think Cherming is asking basically, he's not quite sure how long the bull market will last. How should he manage this as when the market crashed, the stock will drop? Okay, so let me just answer this. If you are a good investor, right, it is not whether it is a bull market or a bear market. Although I would say that for beginners, usually it's easier if it's a bull market because we all know that how do you take advantage of a bull market, okay? Right? But it is whether you know what to do when the market presents you with the opportunity. There are opportunities in the bull market and there are opportunities in the bear market as well, right? Do you know what to buy, when to invest, what strategies to use? So I would say there are so many bull markets in the history, right? And not everybody profit from it, right? So to me, it's not so important to understand whether right now it's a bull market or bear market. It's whether you are ready or not, right? That is the main thing. If you put yourself in a very good environment, or currently we use the term, right, MM environment, then you will know that, hey, right, my results can be a lot better, right, if I implement this strategy. So make sure that you know what to do so that you can profit from it, right? That's why we talk about FTR, follow the rules, feedback to ROI, right? Make sure that when the opportunity is here, take advantage of it. Now, if you're always worrying about something in front, okay, right? And you never take action, guess what? Of course, nothing will change, right? You will miss out all the opportunities. So I always say this, and I think I don't know, is it Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger? He said, I rather be roughly correct than to be precisely wrong. So don't try to be too cute, like trying to time the market so much. But ask yourself, okay, do I have the skill set? Do I have the correct environment? Do I have the mentors to make sure that I benefit regardless where the market goes? Okay, so that's the most important thing. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I just take on the next question by Kim Key Law. Okay, so basically Kim is asking, when we first started, we do the options and we buy the stocks if it reaches our price. So I assume that it got exercised. And then what happened? Do we keep them, or actually do we sell them away? Or if the option expire, what do we do? Do we actually open another contract? So I'll just answer this. Okay, so very good question. So first thing first, if your option actually get exercised, you get the stock, guys. Are you supposed to be happy or are you supposed to be sad? Can you help me to type in happy or sad? Right, so a lot of us, we want to have the premium, and sometimes we forget that actually by collecting the stock at the price that we want, potentially you can make even more. I want you to imagine if at that point, Warren Buffett focus of selling put option for Coca-Cola is just to get the premium, right? I can tell you today, the amount of money he makes from Coca-Cola will not be so much. It's because he used the premium to buy Coca-Cola. At the same time, actually, there was time where he got exercised, he collected the share, okay? And that is where this is the part that makes him become a multi-billionaire. So again, I think this strategy is amazing because irregardless whether we get the premium or we get the stock, both are great. But of course, like I said, if it expires, what you need to do is you just open a new contract and repeat the same process. And I think there was another question on how can we get the ROI for 12 months? Basically, you just repeat this. Okay, 2% a month, 2% a month. And I can tell you, the market is a very volatile place. So when times are uncertain, I can assure you, the premium is not going to be 2%. There will be months whereby, how come this month is 3% or even 4%? Right. So again, you realize that the numbers that we give you guys are actually a more conservative number. There are potentially certain months where you can generate even higher ROI. So again, volatility to many people out there is very, very dangerous. But to us, if you know how to do it correctly with the guidance, it is our best friend.
Okay, let's see. Let me just take on one question, then maybe I'll pass it to Sean. Actually, this is a very technical question. So Nelson is asking, are the gains from options taxable to Singaporeans? As of now, I don't know about future. As of now, one of the best thing being in Singaporean, right, is that there is no capital gains tax at this moment in time. All right. In fact, we don't even have dividends tax. But if you invest in the US market for dividend, you get at 30%. Right. So sometimes people always ask me, hey Pete, I know you do BOSS, selling options, but I also get dividend if I buy dividend stocks. But the thing is this, if you buy dividend stocks, your dividend gets taxed 30%, whereas options premium...
Pete. I think they are asking
Yeah.
about estate tax. Estate tax means like if someone passed away.
Oh, there's
So-
an estate tax one.
Yeah,
No, the
estate
one
tax.
I saw was below that says...
Yeah. Oh, is it?
normal
Sorry.
tax.
Oh, yeah. So,
Oh,
so
yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
one, yeah.
Okay, estate tax, I'm not so sure. But in terms of, let's say, gains, then you don't get tax for options, but dividends you do, right? So that's why I also prefer options.
Actually,
Estate tax,
there is.
to
There's
be
estate
honest, I'm not too concerned. Unless you are really on the verge of passing on, then I need to talk to the lawyer. I think this, to me, this kind of thing is this. If the tax is already there, the instrument is already there, regardless whether you invest or not, right? So guys, let me ask you, if you invest, okay, and let's say you make $5 million and you suffer a bit of estate tax versus you never invest and then you never get estate tax, which one is better, A or B? You tell me, A or B? I don't understand when people always tell me they don't want to pay tax. I say, hey, actually paying tax is a good thing, You know why? Because it means that you make money. Okay? So of course you don't want to pay excessive tax. You pay whatever is required. So
Yeah.
I would say you shouldn't base your decision of investing or not just because, I have to pay tax, that's why I don't invest. Then you might as well don't work. There's income tax, right? The logic doesn't make sense. I know I'm being very harsh here, but sometimes when people ask this kind of question, to me, their focus is wrong. That's why till today, there are still people who are very skeptical about investing and they don't see results because they are asking the wrong question. Okay? All right?
But share with you a good way lah. Basically, upon time where you think that you're going to
You're
get
gonna die
estate tax,
already,
means like something like that. Certain age, right? You just add the account become a joint account.
Joint account also can.
Yeah, then the other person can take out quite easily. Yeah, but yeah, correct lor. Don't let all this stop you. Continue to invest and then we optimize it.
Okay, I think there's a question. So maybe I'll just direct this question to Sean, okay, since he's here. So basically, Benjamin is saying that he got 220K. How should he start to invest because he don't want to experience big losses in it?
Wow, that's not bad, because for me, when I first started, I pulled together my friend's account 100K. This one I sincerely just share with you lah. If I were to do it all over again, I lost 60 plus K initially ma. For me, right, I already make sure that Mary Buffer guide me lah. So okay, this one is not to just because the application closed already anyway. I just tell you this: the most important thing, right, is to really make sure that you have someone looking over your shoulder. So you take a certain, because 220K, let me see, 220K. You go and put aside a certain amount, go and actually get someone to actually guide you. The amount you can make back very fast one. Okay, so it depends. I don't know your age, those kind of things lah. So if let's say you're a lot younger and then you don't mind doing growth one, basically 200K. If let's say you invest, let's say 100K, right? 50%. What do you call that? Strategy X, right? You already make back 50K already. It's quite straightforward. So you can put into Strategy X, let it grow lah. Okay, just make sure you do it correctly lah. Okay.
All right. I think I received a question over here. I think I want to direct to Pete because I think Pete is the best person to answer this. What is the fastest way to become a multi-millionaire investor?
Okay, I would say the fastest way, depending on where you are starting from, to be very honest, right? So I always tell people, yes, while we have a track record of making millionaire, even multi-millionaire, right? I want to encourage everybody, right, to look at what is in front of you, 6 foot in front of you. Right? What does 6 foot in front of you mean? It's what you can see immediately, right? So let's say if you are at a 4-figure portfolio, okay, right? Okay, so maybe I do a short poll. Those of you who are at a 4-figure portfolio, can you type in 4? Okay, let's type in 4. All right, very good. So for those of you who are at a 4-figure portfolio, right, type in 4. Now, those of you who are at a 5-figure portfolio, right now, let's say if I ask you, you start investing now, take action. You have a 5-figure portfolio, type in 5. Okay? How many of you are at a 5-figure portfolio? All right. Then we go all the way up. Okay, those of you who can start with a 6-figure portfolio can type in 6. All right. Okay. Type in 6. Those of you who can start with 6, 100K, 200K, right? Okay, if you are 99,999, it's also considered 6. You're $1 away, right? And those of you who are 7 can type in 7. Now, why do I ask you all about this? Is that I don't want you to focus on being 8-figure, multi-millionaire, right? Let's say when you're 4. So when you're 4, focus on becoming 5. When you're 5, go and become 6. When you're 6, focus on becoming 7. Right? Now, how do you do that? Is to have a higher frequency of feedback. For example, remember Sean talked about when you sell options, why do we advocate selling weeklies right, is that it's not just because weekly has higher ROI. It's because when you sell weekly, you also get a higher frequency of your trade either expiring or exercising, and then you can go to your mentor, do a feedback session, and say, how can I improve from there? Right? It's just like Hardy, where he was very committed, right, and serious about being a super investor. Right? The frequency that he had with coaching with me, right, was on a monthly basis to keep tweaking his portfolio, tweak his mindset in order to build the wealth. Right? So just like losing weight, guys. So guys, imagine, right? Let's say if you want to be fit, you want to lose weight. Do you go to the gym every week? Or do you just go to the gym once a year? Right? Which one will give you faster results? So ultimately, to me, to get faster results, it's not just about the portfolio size. Of course, that matters, right? If you're starting from 4 to become suddenly 7 figures, that's a longer distance. But if you're at 6, like Hardy, how do you want to become 7? For those of you who are 7, how do you become 8? To me, is the frequency of your feedback loop working, right? Your feedback and then your forward guidance. That is very important. Okay.
Hey, actually, I want to touch on this portion now because I saw some people asking if, let's say, I only have 10K, if and things like that, what happens? You know, it's very important to really. It's all about allocation of resources. The amount of money you have, the amount of time you have, the amount of energy is all resources. And your first initial resources, right, is to build yourself up to become a multi-millionaire investor. What do I mean by that? If let's say today, right, I take away all of Warren Buffett's money, is he still a billionaire investor? You all tell me yes or no. He doesn't have billionaire net worth anymore, but is he a billionaire investor? Because once he have the kind of ability to do it right, it will never be taken away from him. So that 10,000, don't be too kanchong or like too hard up about how you should diversify and all that. It is to take that and then put it as a training ground to make sure that your foundation is solid. And then also like what Pete mentioned, we sell weekly puts and stuff like that. Why we prefer weekly? You gain experience a lot more. Because if you do like you do every month, then it's like you only got 12 experience after 1 year. But you do every week, you got 52 experience. So experience matters. And each experience, feedback, guidance, reflection, journaling, all this makes you a stronger investor. And when you become a strong investor, a multi-millionaire investor inside, the money will just catch up on. It's very, very inevitable. Okay. So focus on grooming yourself rather than so you're lucky become millionaire by 1 year, but actually luck it will go off very fast. Okay.
All right, maybe I just want to add on a little bit on this. I think when it comes to people with smaller portfolio, right, again, don't just always base on, for example, that 5,000 that you actually put in, but rather look at it at your lifetime income that you're actually going to put in. Because, for example, you start with 5K, but every single month, you can allocate another $1,000. So after 1 year, how much will your portfolio be? After 2 years, how much will your capital be? Actually, if you look at it again, like I said, whole lifetime, all of us should be a millionaire. So if you look at it from that perspective, then you realize that you want to actually start right. Okay. Of course, like I said, the percentage, everything, we actually base on a certain portfolio size, but everything is customizable based on individual as well. Like I said, when in the coaching call, actually a lot of the times we also customize based on individual risk appetite and also their capital size as well. I think there's a question on Foot Locker. So I think that is very suitable to maybe Sean can answer that.
Well, what is the question?
Okay, let me
The list is a bit long.
Is it a good company or what?
Okay, so I think the question earlier on was he bought it at $40 over dollars and got exercise. And right now the price is at I think $25. So it's asking whether should he continue to hold on to it or to cut it away.
Okay, so basically if you're unsure, right, just cut it away. End of story. Okay, so what I like to do is whenever that's why we have different people to choose different mentors from. You may my way may be a bit harsh and you cannot take it, but it's the best for you. Sometimes the Chinese say the 什么什么苦口良药, the bitter medicine is the one that helps you.
Yes,
okay?
Correct.
Because the funny thing is I've done it a few times already. The mentee come to me and say, hey Sean, the stock price drop and all that. Then I say, don't talk to me so much, sell away everything, then tomorrow then you come and do for me. So I can tell you that night they cannot sleep. Then they really invest, but I don't talk to them until they sell away. They sell away everything, then I say how much money you have left. Take the money, construct a brand new portfolio. Then funny thing is they go and put back the same stock, like Foot Locker. They want the stock. Because actually when drop the price is cheap, then they want. So I say, if you want, just buy back, end of story. So and because now the transaction fee, all this is quite cheap one. But it gives you a peace of mind knowing that you're making the right decision. When you're attached to the particular price that you buy and sell, right, that's where you become very disrupted. You don't know how to invest. So that's why I can tell you investing is not that difficult. It's the emotion, the human psychology. which is the part that is very difficult over 3 days to just teach you guys. So that's why keep giving you the feedback, guide you. That's what Mary did to me. Keep asking me questions, guide me. After a while, before I can, the good thing about being guided by a multimillionaire, actually after about 3 to 4 sessions, before you ask the question, you can hear the answer in your mind already. You get, she's going to say that. then you realize that, your brain become like the person already. Then after that, things start to work. Quite interesting.
All right, cool. I think that also relates to this thing called confidence, because I saw Ming Jie was actually asking, and that he has been investing for years but still no confidence. So how can I actually build up confidence in investing? So Pete and Sean, what's your take on this? How to build confidence?
Okay. You want to say what's it?
No, go ahead.
Okay. You see, if you have been investing for years and you have no confidence, right? I think you really lack the feedback and guidance. Or in fact, you maybe never do a journaling or reflection. So I see people cook chicken rice for years, and the skills never improve. Cannot be one. If you do something every single day, by right, it's supposed to become better and better. But you are doing it without really thinking through, then it's just a moment. It's just like a routine, it becomes robot. It's not supposed to be like that, For investing, when you actually do it and then you keep improving, your ROI increase, right? That's how you become multi-millionaire. Otherwise, if you just do it at a very basic level, you do for years, your confidence don't grow, your ROI don't grow, you get stuck forever. So this one, like I mentioned, it's either you're a super investor or you rather don't invest. Okay, seriously. Yeah. But if you don't invest, you're robbing yourself out of the multi-millions you could have got. So do it correctly. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, to add on, right, I would say how to build up confidence in investing, right? It's just like everything else you all do in life, right? Is it you're learning a new sport or you are, for example, like when you are driving. Okay, I think this most of you maybe understand, right? When you first learn how to drive, even when you pass the exam, I guarantee you, it's jitters, right? It's like, I don't know whether I can turn out, understand the car yet, and the whole concept of driving. But once you are very experienced, right, you know the car inside out, you can almost imagine, right, where exactly your bumper is going to hit, where exactly your boot is going to hit, right? Then you drive with a lot of confidence. Same for investing. Right? Do you understand your whole investment plan? Right? What is your overall strategy that's suited to you? So link back to the previous question that just now we asked about Foot Locker, although I tried to find the comment, I couldn't find it. Right? Is that, for example, if the Foot Locker price has fallen from, 53, right, to about now $43 to $25.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the question I always ask my mentee when they present me with such a scenario, Pete, I bought this stock at this price and now it dropped down to this much. The question I always ask them is this: now that you know that the stock price has fallen so much, what do you think you're going to do? Right? What should you be doing? And they will look at me, What do you mean? Because it all depends on whether you understand the business, right? So if you understand the business true and you think that's a fantastic business, when the market offers you a discount from $43, they slash it. It's like a 7/7 sale. Okay, today is 8/7. Okay, right? It's a 7/7 sale. And they give you $25. What should you do? You should back up the truck and buy more. But if you know your investment well and you know that, actually this is not such a great business, there might be a good reason why the market is valuing it at half its value as compared to previously. Then you will know that, there's no point holding on to it, because Warren always say this, right? Warren Buffett always say this. The long-term quality of the business is reflected in its share price. So then you know that in the long term, the price will never recover. So the whole point about getting confidence in investing is really understanding yourself and developing a foolproof plan so that you can, like what Sean said, after you talk to the high level people for a few times, then you start to really understand and internalize how they think, right? And that's why when we design our program, right, we always say, the goal is not to mentor you forever. The goal is to mentor you all for 2 years. You're solid already. You all go out there and, in Chinese, we say 闯一片天地. You go and fight and get your own financial freedom, because we want to train more people also, right? And that is the level of confidence we want to give it to you, right? That's why you can see in Kelvin Kwong, after he has developed that confidence, he moved to Australia already. We still do a call maybe once a month, short one, but he's pretty much independent already. Same as Hardy, right? In fact, he's so good when Sean asked him to join us as mentor. Right now, he's performing at a different level as well. And I hope that for every one of you as well, is that your confidence becomes so high that you feel confident even teaching other people. Okay?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think because of time, probably we'll just take one last final question. So I saw this question by Roger. Basically, the question is, if my capital is 100,000, can we spend 50K for BOSS and 50K for Strategy X? So maybe I'll let Sean answer this.
It's optimization. Okay, allocation of resources is very important. So you see, Warren Buffett will allocate this in a certain way that is suitable to him. So I need to know your goals now. Like, do you what are you aiming for? If let's say you do have certain time, you can actually do for, I would say, okay, the thing is this, I also need to understand a bit about your psychology. You know or not? Strategy X is super powerful. You realize Strategy X, the exponential returns is a lot higher. However, you need to be patient. BOSS, you can see immediate results. That's why people feel better. Like, oh, really, like I'm making. So I think you need to allocate in a certain way that make yourself feel like, hey, you are still really progressing. At the same time, the Strategy X may fluctuate up and down, but given time, it will be a lot more better. If possible, if you can really take it, actually more into Strategy X is better. But again, there's one thing you all realize, we talk about IV percentile, right? If IV percentile is really very high, volatility is very high, means that options very expensive. So it's also situational. Then you can put more into BOSS. You sell options, you get more money. So it based on situation. But in short, let me share with you guys something. Actually, after today, right, you have learned almost everything about options. You know why? You learn how to buy option, you learn how to sell option. You learn call option, you learn put option. In fact, this combination, right, you can have a lot of different variation. Just now, even you talk about Foot Locker dropping, right? Actually, there are a lot of things you can do. One, it's just that if I share with you now, some of you may be, the mind may explode. So you can actually make income out of it. Okay? I'm not going to go explain too much into details, but we are teaching you the basic. Right now is to master the Kung Fu, okay? And also, now you have the ability to choose which one you want. But I will highly suggest, okay, you talk to the consultant first. They look at your portfolio. Sometimes they can say that, oh, this one is something more suitable for you to go high growth, and then you should high growth and or like income, depending on your age also, okay?
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess that's wrap up our session for today. So really thanks a lot, Pete and Sean, for the Q&A segment, and of course thanks everyone for actually joining us till now. So again, tomorrow, right? Okay, please be here on time at 9 a.m. because we will actually be going through this very powerful strategy called Strategy X Plus, and also how do you benefit and profit even when the market is going down. So that will all be covered tomorrow. All right, but before we end, just a quick announcement is that for those of you who actually applied earlier on, okay, please do reply to the consultant, okay, because again, there's limited slot, and I think a lot of you have already applied. So what happens is that you need to go and secure and reply the message to lock in your timing as well. So with that, thanks everyone. Good to see everyone, and hope to see all of you tomorrow, 9 a.m. sharp, okay? And we will see you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.